Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about the detection of RNase contamination, and today what we discuss is a rapid sensitive method for detecting the RNase contamination. If you are new to this channel, please press the subscribe button and click on the bell icon to get notified. So let's see what are RNases or ribonuclease. So ribonuclease are a type of nuclease that catalyzes the degradation of RNA into smaller components. So basically, this degrades the RNA or the ribonucleic acid. RNase A is most commonly found RNase, and it is a 13-kDa enzyme. It's an endonuclease that cleaves single-stranded RNA at cytosine or uracil residues, producing 3' phosphate termini. RNases are found in all cell types and organisms from prokaryotes to eukaryotes. So it is present everywhere. The RNases are present everywhere, and they have the capability of catalyzing the degradation of RNA. They are found in air and the surface of your body and can contaminate through touching the surfaces. So RNases can reach the surfaces in the lab through air or through touching the surfaces, and it can contaminate the reagents and the lab instruments and the surfaces. So it is extremely important to get rid of these RNases when you are working with the RNA. Otherwise, these RNases can cleave and degrade the RNA of interest. So it is quite challenging and tricky to get rid of the ribonucleases. There are different methods to clean the lab surfaces, but these are very difficult to clear off because of their tough nature. RNases are highly destructive, meaning that even the tiny amounts of RNases present in the lab can degrade the RNA. So, especially when people are working with the RNA for nucleic acid extraction and RNA related work, it is very difficult to control the degradation of RNA with the RNases because of the contaminating RNases present everywhere in the lab. RNases cannot be destroyed easily and they are indestructible. So, as mentioned, these are very strong enzymes and which cannot be destroyed easily, even with the autoclaving. So, one method of destroying this is with the heat, wet heat by autoclaving. But the issue with the RNases is that once you autoclave and bring the temperature back, it can renature and still be active. Most of the part of the most majority of the RNases can be destroyed, but even small amount present can uh, catalyze the degradation of RNA. The other method of using the DEPC water for autoclaving, so that will help attacking the alkylating the histidine region of the enzyme and thereby stopping the activity. Once the autoclaving is done, this will inactivate the DEPC, and it and those such water can be used safely. The other way of destructing the RNAs is the use of dry heat. So the labwares and the glasswares can be heated at 180 degree for 1 or 2 hours to clear out the RNases. So RNases cannot withstand dry heat. So such methods can be used to clear out RNAs, but the person working in the lab also should take care to avoid the take care and take precautions to avoid the contamination with the RNases. So always wear gloves and clean surfaces can be regularly done. Surface cleaning should be done regularly to prevent the contamination of RNases. So these are the properties of RNase. We have seen that it's highly destructive and it cannot be destroyed easily. But how do we identify the presence of RNase in your lab reagents or the surface or even the lab instruments? So there is a technique to detect the RNases contamination, and it is a sensitive, rapid approach, and it's a fluorescence-based approach released by Integrated DNA Technology. They collaborated with the Ambion Thermoscientific to create a product called as the RNase Alert. So RNase Alert is a rapid RNase detection, and which is achieved using a fluorescent labeled uh, oligonucleotide probe. So that is the RNA substrate which is used here, is the fluorescently labeled oligonucleotide probe. The assay utilizes fluorescence quenched oligonucleotide probe that emits signal only once the nucleus degrades the oligonucleotide probe. So when you want to test a reagent or your buffer, so this buffer need to be incubated with the oligonucleotide probe along with the reaction buffer. If there is a presence of contaminating RNases, the oligonucleotide will be cleaved, and this will release the reporter and quencher apart, resulting in the fluorescence. In normal cases, the fluorescence emitted by the reporter will be quenched by the quencher present in the oligonucleotide probe, where there are these sequence used are specific for wide range of RNases. So once the RNA is present in the sample or the test sample, that degrades the oligonucleotide probe, causing the causing that to release out from the proximity of the quencher, and the reporter start to start to give fluorescent signal. The fluorescence signal can be visualized using a fluorimeter. So this is the basic principle used in this RNase alert technology. It's a very sensitive and rapid, easy method to identify the RNase contamination. So it is very important to detect RNases and take appropriate precaution to prevent the further damage of the RNases caused by the RNases. So if there is a presence of RNase in the solution or the lab working area, this need to be cleared out before adding RNA to this particular reagent. So otherwise your RNA will be cleaved out. So this is the basic principle I discussed. So the, rapid RNase detection works by utilizing the reporter oligonucleotide quencher probe that is incubated with a test sample. So when there is a presence of RNase contamination, that will degrade the probe and releasing the fluorescence. Here you can see on the left is a positive sample having a RNase that gives fluorescence, whereas a negative control that is without RNase does not give any fluorescence signal. So this is a simple and easy technique to identify the RNase contamination. Hope you are clear this with this topic. If you like the video, please like and share it with your friends. Thank you.